Café Anyway. Hello there, it's Mike.
It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike Matthews here at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica, and it's FFF Daily Podcast. FFF episode 2788, 2788. That's great. It's Mike Matthews, and I think it might be my fate to talk to you about skating. Skating is fun when you're skating around, and then you have that problem when you fall down. And that's no fun. So why do we skate if we fall down? That's it, because it's fun. Mike's Daily Podcast. And because we watch Xanadu and all of that. That's my theory anyway. Mike's Cafe Anyway. Daily. Well, thank you podcast for listening to this. Yeah. Because I know that you might be wondering about cruising. Like on a ship, like up fjords and across the sea and to beautiful beaches and atolls and all of that. Well, the cruise season begins in just a couple of days. Cruise industry continues strong growth after COVID. I remember there was a guy who was looking into buying stocks. He hadn't bought stocks before. And he saw that, I think it was Carnival Cruises, their stock had dropped because nobody was taking cruises. And at that point, we were like, is anyone ever going to take cruises again? Because of COVID, and are we ever going to be able to go out in public again? So he bought stock in it because it was low, and because there was this added offer that they would give you a free cruise. So he did it. I wonder if he held on to it. Well, the cruise industry worldwide generated $13.5 billion in revenue in 2022, and it's expected to grow from 2022 to 2028. Gosh, 2028. Doesn't that seem like a whole other... That's not even possible.
And here's today's podcast picture.
But hey, we probably all thought 2024 was impossible. And here it is. We're in it. At the moment. The podcast pictures from the wonderful trip that I took to Los Angeles recently. I don't know what it is. I was going to tell you, and then this stupid, what is this? Office Outlook something where I have my picture. It's one of the clouds, and it's not letting me look at it. But I know I will have one beautiful picture for you when you see it there at mikesdailypodcast.com. Go to that website for that to see all the great past podcast pictures. The late, great Basil the Boxer, he's been in a bunch. And we'll get to one with him soon. Yes. All over the place. Tonight, my lovely lady friend and I, or last night, we were walking, and there was these groups of dogs that she sees at this park. And they're two golden retrievers and this husky pit bull mix. And they were so sweet. They were coming up to us and giving us a tennis ball that we threw for them. Dogs. Now, Basil did not like to fetch. You'd throw the ball and he'd go, yeah, okay. But the cat that I have, Rocky, he fetches sometimes. That's pretty interesting. Okay. What? Huh? You weren't interested in that? What? I misunderstood. Apologies. Though, here's what's happening with the cruise industry. Revenge travel and the rise of remote work. Nearly 36 million passengers will set sail this year. That is up from 31 million last year, 36 this year. Popular locations include the Caribbean, the Bahamas, and Bermuda. Ooh, I want to take you to Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama. Over 43% of the cruise ship passengers, 43% of all cruise ship passengers, you know what they all have in common? They are Americans. You said old, didn't you? You said old. I heard you. 45% of global cruise travelers in 2019 were first-time cruisers. 45% first-timers. And 32% of cruise passengers traveled with their family.
Mike's Amusement Park.
The front panel will close automatically. Please remain seated at all times.
And interestingly, some cruise ships have a bit of a amusement park thing happening where you have slides and such. So, hey, that's a thing that's happened. Norwegian launched cruises to southern Africa with exotic locations featuring volcanic landscapes and rainforests recently. Another new feature is for solo travelers. Solo travelers can meet up with other like-minded guests in exclusive key card access only studio lounges with key card access. Alaska is home to more than 30,000 grizzly bears, and the state's cruise industry is expecting another record-breaking season in 2024. Oh, and the only cruise I ever went on was one to Alaska. So I don't know exactly what the cruise industry and 30,000 grizzlies have in common, but are they going to be taking the cruise ship too? All that from Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He talks finances and whatnot and money, and he is on the radio on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings in the 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock hour, and he's also on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour. He was also mentioning how home price growth is back at pre-pandemic levels. Yes, the rate at which home prices grow is slowing down.
Almost daily Haley.
This is all of you people named Haley. All you Haley people. Hey to you. U.S. home prices increased 0.6% from a month before in February, in line with the 0.6 average monthly gain in the roughly 8 years leading up to the COVID-19 pandemic. Before the pandemic, it was normal for prices to grow about 0.5% every month. As we go outside a Café Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, or to increase around 5% or 6% annually. However, the market today is different. Sellers are dissatisfied with others that they're getting. With the offers that they're getting from others. Café Anyway. They're not getting the offers they want, and buyers are disappointed in the rising prices and the rising mortgage rates. How am I supposed to get a house? Major difference is the relatively low number of transactions, which is largely due to high mortgage rates that are sitting around 6%. Another factor is extremely limited supply of homes. There is a tight supply of existing homes, so the new home market is slightly better. And that is what's happening with home buying and selling.
Mike's Out of Left Field Recordings.
Recording everything captures actions that will never again be repeated.
Here is an interesting recording. A long, long time ago in a galaxy, AMC, Alamo Drafthouse, and other theater chains are running a 20-hour, 9-movie Star Wars marathon. It's happening around, guess when? May the 4th, because May the 4th be with you. So May 3rd and May 4th, they're doing this, and it's going to cost $84 a ticket. I went to a movie marathon of Back to the Future. This is when Back to the Future 3 came out. So the Arlington Theater in Santa Barbara decided to play all 3 movies back to back. And by the end of the movie, the end of the 3rd movie, it was about 2 in the morning. And I remember getting up and going, "Where's my wallet?"
And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
No, literally my wallet had fallen out of my pocket or something. It was gone. Maybe I had been pickpocketed. Ugh. And that's back when I was in college. Of course, I freaked out. It was much more difficult back then to get a new credit card. You had to call. You had to wait. Nowadays you can go online. It's a lot easier. I lost a credit card back when last time I went to Mount Shasta with my lovely lady friend, which I think was 2022. Yes, late 2022. And we, I somehow lost a credit card. And I finally figured it out the next day. Thankfully, nobody had charged anything on it. Had it canceled and got a new one instantaneously. Well, it still has to travel in the mail. But still much more sped up at any rate, because you can get the credit card number and all the necessary digits you need ahead of time off the website. Oh, and speaking of websites and credit cards and all that, Amazon. Oh, dang, Jeff Bezos. So I got a juicer for my lovely lady friend. And it turns out yesterday, I was talking about how it was smoking and little bits of plastic were shooting off into my juices that I was making. The little juice would be extracting, and there were little bits of plastic in it. So we're going to return it, right? Well, no, not right. Because it had been over a month since I had purchased it, and the return policy says past a month, that's too bad. So Amazon got me. They got me this time. Okay. It doesn't feel good. When a fellow bald man has somehow cheated me out of the $30 or so it was for that stupid juicer. Anyway, Café Anyway, I will tell you now that we have a second option that we just figured out recently, and that was that there's a phone number inside of the booklet that came with this juicer device, and we're going to try and call that and see what happens. I'll keep you posted.
The Marco Minute. The Marco Minute.
This is dedicated to anybody who likes to play the game Marco Polo in a pool. You must be freezing right now, because it is not so warm out there at the moment, not even in California. But in a warm place known as Saudi Arabia, they are building the world's first Dragon Ball Z theme park. It will feature recreation locations from the Japanese anime with 30 themed rides. Tourism reached a record for the kingdom in 2023 at 106 million, an increase of 56% from 2019. And speaking of million, the number of millionaires in the U.S. has grown 35% since 2018. More than 5.5 million Americans have liquid assets of $1 million plus. That is a 62% increase over the last 10 years. How is that possible? If you're into cookies, Chips Ahoy, Mondelez International's $1 billion 61-year-old cookie brand. I think my dog liked cookies, but not Chip Ahoy. He liked the dog biscuits, which the British call cookies. They call them biscuits. It's changing. That's right. The cookie brand Chips Ahoy is changing its recipe next month, adding more cocoa and vanilla content. Chips Ahoy owns 53% of the U.S. chocolate chip cookie market, and you heard that chocolate is going to increase because of the problems with the plants that make the chocolate, the cocoa beans and whatnot. It's a big shortage. A lot of plants died and such. I forget exactly the reason, but yes, prices are going to go up. Chocolate this year. Oh no. Get used to not eating so much chocolate, which is probably a good thing. NBC is going to stream its live coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic opening ceremony on US IMAX screens. Over 150 of them, as a matter of fact. The first game's opener, not held in a stadium, with Olympians set to float down the River Seine in 100 boats, because it's Paris. Yes. Woo! That's right. Let's hear it for that, Paris. Okay, well, we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth in Ameritopica. Look who's here. Hello, Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. I like chocolate a lot, Mike Matthews. Especially chocolate bunnies. There's a lot of those this time of year, Mike Matthews. Yes, because of the Easter. Uh-huh. Very good. You're paying attention to your calendar, Mike Matthews. Yes. It's also National Snow Globe Day, Mike Matthews. I don't think there is such a thing. It's National Chocolate Snow Globe, Mike Matthews. I really don't think there's such a thing as both of those things. You want one, Mike Matthews? Heck yeah. Thank you. Oh, a chocolate snow globe. I'll try that.
We love you, Mike.
So wait, does that mean there's snow inside the chocolate? I don't think that would go very well. Mike Matthews, it's like a Cadbury egg. You get a little surprise inside, Mike Matthews. Thank you, Chely. Look who else is here. Whoa, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, I'm really sorry that your juicer isn't working, even though I didn't cause it not to work. But Mike Matthews, I think maybe all you need to do is rearrange some of the apparatus inside and it'll work properly, Mike Matthews. See, engineers are so smart. They have a solution for everything. Thank you. Don't mention it. Your last name is also the name of a fine, interesting animal that lives in the forest and can leap very high. Yes, Mike Matthews.
You will travel into the incredible universe.
You're so perceptive. So perceptive. And I'm perceptive enough to tell you that now it is time for the phone number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And with more ways to reach me, it is very simple to do that.
Woo!
It is also by going to the website mikesdailypodcast.com. And we also have kombucha here at Café Anyway if you didn't like the root beer or the chocolate snow globes. And here is A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!